You are marrying a white man? Really? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ted and Vero TV. My name is Veronica, and this is my husband.
Hi, I'm Ted.
Thank you so much for joining us again on another episode. Today, we want to tackle a very sensitive topic, but something that we have dealt with, and I have personally dealt with during the time of my courtship with Ted, during the time of us getting married, and even after that, we were still dealing with stuff like that. And that is on the topic of you are marrying a white man. So my experience during the time I started dating Ted, I kept my relationship very private because I had just came out of a relationship not long before him, and I was just really heartbroken, and I was not really supported by the people around me at that time, and I just felt very alone. So when I started courting Ted, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this private. I just want to make sure that everything works out before I bring it out. You know, I had dated someone of his race before, but it was not serious, and so no one actually knew he was gonna go anywhere, so no one actually bashed that. But immediately I introduced Ted as being like a white man. Oh my goodness. Those who will say, you are marrying a white man, you are marrying a white man, really? You are a black woman marrying a white man, blah, 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 that it will not work. Like, the people will not accept you, you'll be miserable, and all the stereotypical stuff that people will say about it. You know what I mean? I had to stand firm in my beliefs that, okay, this is not just the issue of this man being a different color, but this is a issue of human rights, I would say, allowing people to be who they want to be and to love the person that they are meant to love. You know what I mean? And to me, that was Ted. It wasn't anything about his color or anything like that. It was just mainly me being in love with this man and me wanting to be in a relationship with him. And anything else that anyone else had to say didn't really matter in that sense, you know. But to tell you the truth, when people would tell me, oh, you are marrying a white man, you are marrying a white man, it made me feel like I was doing something wrong. You know what I mean? At one point, I had to actually check myself and be like, no, Vero, you know who you are. And their opinion of who you want to be with does not matter. I had to check myself and make sure I place myself in a place of peace, or else, you know, I would not have allowed myself to be in this relationship that is so good to me. You know what I mean? And so be very careful out there when you are inserting your opinions on people. Oh, you are marrying a white man. What would people say? What would people say? What would this happen? What would this happen? Yeah, and so that is one of the things I experienced. Yeah,
and unsurprisingly, I think you had said that most of those opinions came from people that were closest to you, family and friends and things like that. Obviously, you'd have people maybe on social media that might chime in if they see our picture or something like that. Actually, we've gotten a lot of that. But when it's people that you love and that love you, it hurts the most. And we understand that people mean well a lot of the time, but it's this stereotypical narrow-minded mindset that gets in the way a lot of the time, and they'll bring in these opinions and they're just not seeing the deeper picture. They're just going off of traditional thinking, which isn't always necessarily the correct thinking, just because it's the way people have always thought about things.
People have always thought about it. And I think with the whole issue of, you know, slavery and what happened, this evil thing that took place in our history that should never have taken place, you know, and so people are still harboring unforgiveness, I believe. And so a lot of times when they see a black person with a white man, automatically in their mind, they are thinking, okay, they mistreated us. Why are you gonna go be with this person who mistreated us? I'm like, no, Ted didn't do anything to anybody. You know, it may be his ancestors or something, and who knows, his ancestors were probably never even connected to it. You know what I mean? And so it has nothing to do with him. And black people, my people, we've also probably done something to someone. You know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily mean that I did that thing to someone, that person. I remember when I first came to America, let me tell you, I experienced a little bit of bullying. As some of you can see, my skin is darker than most, okay? The bullying I experienced, let me tell you, were not for any other race than my own race. You understand? I was so confused.
Even within the black races.
Even within my community, people of my own race, my color, they didn't understand why my shade of color was darker.
Black.
Darker than theirs. You know what I mean? And so they will have an opinion. And for the longest time, that abuse went on, and I was emotionally traumatized. I had to come to a place of accepting myself and knowing that, okay, I love myself, and anyone's opinion of my color does not matter. This is the color God gave me, and I'm so proud of it. But mind you, for the longest time, I found it very hard, because when you receive constant abuse, it becomes hard for you to accept who you are. And we'll do a video where I focus solemnly on the experiences I had when it comes to my skin and everything like that, So skin color, to me, it matters to some people. So I'm not going to take that away from them. But to me, it does not really matter. It's the character of the person. The reason I say it does not really matter is because of the experiences I had. People of my color have made me feel like I was not good enough. That my color was not good enough, to the point where people have asked me to even bleach my skin, to change my skin color. You know what I mean? And so to say that, oh, you are marrying a white person, oh, why would you do that? Coming from these same people, I'm like, okay, you are inserting hate on my color, yet you are telling me that, okay, this other color I'm marrying, or this other person I'm marrying, is not good enough. You know what I mean?
And it's too white.
It's too white. So
it's like, you can never please anybody. It's like you're either too dark, or you're too white, or whatever else.
Yeah, so you can never win. So I'm like, why don't we just be all human? Let's just all be human. Let's love one another. Mm-hmm. Let's know right from wrong. Let's choose to do right. Let's love one another. Let's appreciate one another. Let's celebrate one another, instead of tearing each other down. Yeah. And I want to say this. My family was so supportive when it comes to my immediate family. God bless my mother so much. Oh, my mom, she was so happy for me. She celebrated my relationship. My sisters, my brothers, they celebrated my relationship. They were happy. And some of my friends also celebrated. So I don't want to take that away from anybody. They celebrated, they were happy. The ones that did not celebrate and were not happy are the ones that didn't understand. They didn't understand why I would choose to go this way, instead of going the other way. I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I could have married someone of my race. I could have married someone directly from Ghana, and you would have still had something probably to say about it. Like, okay, he's not from the same tribe. I'm not sure. For us Africans, have you seen relationship where someone will marry someone, let's say from the Ashanti region, and someone is from Fanti? They'll be like, oh, he's Ashanti. Oh, he's like from a different like tribe. That still happens in Africa, where they'll be like, oh, you've married. Ooh, actually, this reminds me. I was dating a guy for a long time before I met my incredible husband, Ted, okay? Let me tell you this. He was African. And he straight up told me, during the first 2 months of the relationship, my mother actually doesn't want me to marry someone outside of our tribe or our country. I'm from Ghana. He was from a different country. He said, my mother doesn't want me to marry someone from another country. And then he also went on telling me, mind you, I had dealt with issues with my skin being darker than most people and everything. Okay, I've dealt with that abuse and all that from other people and stuff. He went on and again told me that his preference on dating has always been lighter skinned women. Okay, I'm not even kidding. Straight up, he told me his preference on dating has always been lighter skinned women. But, I'm such a good person and I haven't, I'm not even kidding, this is not made up. You said, and I quote, you are such a good person, you are so beautiful, you have the nicest body, and that is what attracts me to you. If it was not that, I don't think you and I would be in a relationship, okay? And I know. I dated him for a while because at that time, I was struggling a little bit with self-esteem. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be straight up. Self-esteem and trying to discover who I was. And so I belittled myself and I stayed with him. Because normally when someone tells you something like that, instantly, you walk away, be like, oh, listen, now, this Veronica, if anyone told me that, I'll be like, listen, goodbye. Pack your things and go far from me. But back then, I sat there and I took that abuse. To me, it sounded like a compliment then. But I think about it now and I'm like, really? He actually said that to me, And that was someone from the continent of Africa. That was someone from the continent. Different countries, but the same continent.
Yeah.
So saying this to say that, please, if someone is in a relationship with a different race, leave them be. Leave them be. Let them love who they want to love. Do not insert your opinion, your negative thoughts on them just because you feel a different way.
We've seen Hotel Rwanda, and that's an example of how far things can be taken when you allow this sort of narrow-minded, racist and bigoted behavior and these concepts to go. It ends up in violence and war and murder. And that's just one example within Africa. But even Hitler's ideology was about creating the super pure race of Aryan people and not having it
be mixed,
tainted, so to speak, with anybody else. And again, as my wife said, if you are of the persuasion that you would like to keep the purity of, say, an African tribe, then, and you're all in agreement with that, including the children who are going to be wed, then more power to you. But the thing is they're always concerned about tainting the races, mixing the races. There are always going to be the pure bloodline races, and then you're going to have the mixed races. And there are so many people on the planet, it's not like any of these things are ever going to be wiped out. You're going to have all people, all kinds, and that's part of what makes the world beautiful. And at the end of the day, you don't necessarily marry for reasons of maintaining a pure race or a bloodline or things like that. Is that really the most important thing? Maybe in a royal family, maybe in some sort of traditional British hierarchy or something like that. But for the most part, I think we're all in agreement that you marry for reasons of genuine love and deep connection. And a spiritual bond that goes fathoms deeper than these issues of your nose is too wide, or your skin is too dark, or your skin is too light, or you were born on that hemisphere of the world.
Yeah, and I've had situations where people have actually told me, when people mix and they have children, their children are like half light,
mutts,
and half light and half black, right? Okay, mixed children. I've had people tell me, "Wow, Veronica, you are so dark that I don't even think when you have children, this part of the family will be seen." I've had people actually tell me that, like, yo, and it's not people of any race. People of my race tell me that. So it's like, okay, what are you trying to say? If my children are my color, oh my goodness, I love them. Like, perfection, they're my children. They come out blue, I love them. They come out red, I love them. They come out text color, I love them. They come out my color, I love them. So I've realized that anytime people who have these opinions, okay, there are people that don't actually love themselves. Have you noticed that? They don't love themselves. And so they are trying to make you feel like you are doing something wrong by, inserting these ideologies and these thoughts on you. And so if you don't love yourself and if you don't accept who you are, then instantly you start feeding into what they are saying. Will my kids look more like test color or would it be? Why does that matter? It does not matter. It does not matter. Absolutely zero matter.
If you ask me, the best way to heal this world is to celebrate interracial marriages. People are worried about all of these inane things that just lead to hatred and violence and closed-mindedness and lack of progress, and that cause us to go backwards instead of forwards. Why don't we follow in the footsteps of some of the things that Martin Luther King said? It's not about the color of the skin, but the content of his character. So in these interracial marriages and in this wonderful interracial community, we've had so much support from all of you.
So many beautiful people.
It's been a wonderful experience getting to know a lot of you. And we want to strengthen this community and celebrate that because truly, like I was just saying, one of the best ways that I can think of to heal a lot of the
the
brokenness and a lot of the past hurts that people can't seem to get over. By rather than pushing these races away, they hurt us, they did this, they did that, rather than pushing everyone away and going into your own corner, extending a hand of compassion and understanding and accepting love when it comes from whoever it is, and moving forward with that kind of a mindset, I really believe is going to heal a lot of the past wrongs.
Certainly. And on that note, we want to encourage you, keep loving one another and keep showing love to people in other races that you don't even understand. Show them love. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy day.
Bye-bye.